the pledge.
I call this meeting to
Have
order
first
of
graders
the
say that.
Lincoln
Let's say
County
that.
Board of Education. Tonight on January 21st, regular call meeting we're at the Hamlin PK through 8. And at this time, I'm going to ask board member Robert Mosteller to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I always want to say
Thank you.
amen when we get to the.
As you can see, Board President Bell is not with us this evening, so I will be filling in this seat tonight. Looks like signed in for public comment, we have Stephen McCluskey. I'll just let you know as you're making your way that as you're not on the agenda, this part of the meeting, we're not allowed to comment back. We can just listen. And you have 3 minutes, so you can come on up to. Yeah, that's fine. Absolutely.
So I'm actually here to go ahead and introduce myself for camera purposes. I'm Stephen McCluskey. I grew up in Hamlin, went to Hamlin High School, graduated 2003, and then joined the United States military. I had 8 years in the military. During my time in the military, I was attached to CID for 2 years, which is Criminal Investigation Department, focused mainly on people breaking rules and snatching and grabbing. On top of that, I also was a base NCOSC for a 30 by 75 kilometer area, roughly about 20 by 50 mile radius, and on all logistics and security within that area. The reason I'm here tonight, honestly, is because of the intel and stuff that I used to have to gather. I come across a lot in the past year from the pictures you guys will see in the thing, has been from October to literally last week. The problem is that there's too many bathrooms going on at one time. These kids are selling vapes. On top of that, they are vandalizing. Your own staff has actually reached out to me, being a former law and public safety teacher there, about the vandalism. So I made a proposal. The proposal is to help the security of the school and focus on the children and actually make sure they're safe. You have kids skipping right before lunch, and they're going to the bathroom and they're hanging out in the bathroom for 2 periods straight, including their lunch. During that time frame, they are selling vapes, they are selling gummies, they are selling THC vapes. And as you will see, the price they are communicating through via social media. They're going for $15 for the basic, all the way up to $45 for the gummies.
Terrible.
These kids are actually getting it from their parents, or as you'll see, there's other kids going to other schools, such as Hurricane, which there's a picture in there showing that one. So when they go to the mall, they're meeting these people in social areas, and they're actually getting it from them. Or boyfriends are dating from other schools and all that. Now, the information that I've gathered, your boys are the ones doing the vandalism. For the most part, they're also your main traffickers into the school, but it is your girls that are actually pushing out and selling the actual things to other kids. They are turning around. They are talking to their friends. Do you want it? Posting it social media and everything else. Now, my suggestion is that during that time period, that you only keep 2 bathrooms open. One of the problems that we're seeing is during first thing in the morning, you have the CTE, which is all the way on the other end. All your staff is down at one end of the school. These kids are saying they're going to go see a teacher, and they're going in the bathroom. The other thing that you have is during lunch period. Lunch period, same problem. I want to go talk to the teacher. They go all the way to the other end, hang out in the bathroom. So in the proposal, I propose that only 2 bathrooms be open, focusing on where the majority of your staff is. That way we can emphasize on the kids and make sure that it's focused and taken care of. And when it comes to vandalism, I mean, I literally was also coached Little League football. I went in there for trophies, hand out trophies and stuff like that. And I tried to actually go to the bathroom myself, and I couldn't use one of the urinals because it was destroyed. So I won't get to details of that one. So this is just me talking about the emphasis of the thing. Also, random hall and bathroom checks. I was at the school just the other day, walked through. It was during class periods, and I am not lying to you when I said I see about 20, 30 kids walking up down the hallways. I was with your assistant principal. Bad part is, he was doing his job. He stopped every kid and said, "Hey, where you going?" "Oh, so-and-so said I gotta go talk to this teacher." Or "So-and-so I said I had to go here." The problem of it is you have too many kids moving at one time and they're not going where they're saying they're going. There's no way to prove it. So make sure you're walking the halls, make sure you're staying on top of them on the part is something I was emphasizing about that on that part. Another thing, I talked to several teachers when I was a CTE. I went and talked to them as well. Assistant principal was with me. One of the kids turned around and say, "Hey, so-and-so, can I go use the restroom?" Only one kid asked, 3 kids got up, tried going to the bathroom. I looked right at the teacher and they like, you two back. The problem you're having is also that one student will ask, 3 will take off and they'll go just hang out in the bathroom. The other issue you're having is that because my kid personally has got caught by me checking up on a regular basis, skipping classes, hanging out in the bathroom. So the other issue that you're having though is because they were getting caught by skipping and Schoology is keeping track of that if it's reported. The other issue is now you're having kids sit there 5-10 minutes in class, raise their hand, say, "Hey, I gotta go to the bathroom," and not come back. They hit the attendance. So all I'm suggesting is that on this part is that we start doing more checks, we start making sure that the kids are taken care of, and we minimize and focus on the bathrooms that faculty can be around. Last thing is periodic school searches. I know when I went to school, we always had drug dogs stuff coming through school. You guys are having major amount of things coming through the school. It's not being actually done. I mean, it is being done at school. These kids are getting smarter. They're holding it. They're bringing it to my house. One of the pictures you will see in that, if you turn to it, there's a note stating, "This is all the stuff I've confiscated." That was last month. Should be, I think, third page. And you will see there's things in there from marijuana, THC gummies, to vapes, to everything else. So these are the things that I've confiscated personally. And I'm not saying, it's hard. I get it. School's too big. But I was able to crack down and find it at that point. And if my kid can get away with it, how many other kids are getting away with it? Now, I know one of the excuses everyone will say, "Well, it's only 1-2 kids." No, I actually can hack into my kid's phone and everything else. I know how to do that kind of stuff. There's pictures when she's skipping of 8 to 10 kids sitting in the bathroom floor. Literally November 4th, there was a fight at the school that there was about 15 to 20 kids in one bathroom for the fight during 4th period. So when we're looking at it, the issue is not necessarily the staff. It is the kids are running amok and we're not cracking down on them.
Yeah.
So that's all I have to say.
Mr. McCluskey, I thank you
Thank you.
for sharing. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
I apologize for my alarm going off there in the middle, but that's the 3-minute alarm. I want to let you wrap up because it is a very important topic and we're not going to mention anything in here because we can't. But the superintendent will take a look at this and it is a very important topic and I appreciate you coming and sharing with us. Thank you too. And there are no other public comment. So at this time, we'll move on to agenda item 3, which is recognition of National Board Certified Teachers.
Board certified teachers in our school system. We had a new band made for the school, and the list just keeps growing. And we're thrilled to death with that.
That's great.
So it's a huge undertaking to be National Board certified. And if I'm not mistaken, the 3 ladies will recognize tonight have actually renewed. They've already achieved this honor, but they have to renew. So Christy Atkins. One of my former students. She has.
Congratulations.
Thank you for Greg. Should be. Again, we're very proud of these ladies taking the steps to renew this certification. It is it speaks volumes to their dedication to their craft and honing their craft to make sure they can deliver the best we possibly can for the students in Lincoln County. So again, congratulations.
Yes, indeed. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
3 of the best. Yeah, they Love the kids and the kids.
Okay, moving on, to item 4 of the agenda, we're going to presentations and reports. We'll start with, item A, and Lori Huffman. Yes, Ms. Huffman,
Miss Lori.
Ms. Huffman with your LSIC report from Hamlin PK through 8.
On behalf of Hamlin Pre-K-8 staff here, we appreciate all of you coming out. And I do want to say these fine young ladies make me super proud because that is a huge accomplishment to get your national board certification. Very strenuous process, and they make me proud. So, and yeah. Yeah, I've renewed once, so mine doesn't come as often because it's every 10 years. 2030 is when I have to renew, so,
You probably won't be.
okay.
I'll be gone by then.
So welcome again, on behalf of the staff here at Hamlin Pre-K-8. I did hand out, an LSIC report, and I apologize, girls, I don't have one for you all. Some of it I'm going to skip through because you can read that yourself, and it would take quite a bit of time, of course. Over on the left of that first page, if you go to the bottom, we'll go with attendance, things like that, because to me, that is a focus for us this year. It has been the past several years, actually. So our current daily attendance is 92 and 1500%, which is pretty good. So anything over 90, we're going to strive to get that up throughout the year. Our chronic absent rate for last year was 24, 9400%. And right now we're down to 23. And I credit a lot of that to our CIS person and Miss Katie, our counselor. They have worked diligently to get kids here. They've made home visits. So it is working. Okay. So kudos to those ladies for helping us and getting our attendance rates up there. Our discipline for last year, out of school suspension, we had 61 students that were suspended. And at this time, this year, we're at 24. So we're less than half at this point of the year. So we're doing much better. I think kids, are receptive to some of the things that we're doing, CATS rewards things to get them to improve their behavior and attendance here at school. Total number of discipline referrals right now, 172, but you take into consideration some of those are minor offenses. Okay. If they get sent to the office, we record that into the system. So, I do want to read the narrative strategies to improve test scores because that is huge for us. That is our goal, is to improve our test scores, of course. So I've got the utilization of iReady diagnostics helps provide data for intervention groups in grades K through 8. Our elementary students are divided into small groups based on the data collected and teacher input. The elementary teachers, aides, and Title I teachers are utilized for small group instruction daily, which is our intervention. And these two ladies over here know all about that. Lessons that are provided by iReady and Ashlock help our teachers provide the appropriate instruction to students so students are successful and gains can be measured. Middle school intervention groups are based on iReady diagnostic as well, but we began the year with the summative assessment data. Okay. And now that we've given the second benchmark for iReady, we're going to use that. And then, of course, the benchmark for the winter. And we are going to regroup for the second semester. Okay. So, let's see, our middle school ELA and math teachers provide intervention for our targeted students daily. In grades 3 through 8, the benchmarks provided by the West Virginia Department of Ed provide data for instruction. Teachers adjust instruction based on the data and standards that need addressed or retaught. After school tutoring has been added. Mr. Gaines allowed us to do after school tutoring Tuesday through, it's not Monday, it's Tuesday through Thursday. I should have put. So it's 3 days. Then you see our mission and our vision statement. Our goal, our first goal, and we worked towards this for years, is to improve math, which we did. We improved our math scores, so we were at 40% proficient. So our goal this year is to go to 45. And I know 5% doesn't seem like a lot, but any of these educators can tell you 5% gain in 1 year is huge for a school. Our second goal, of course, is reading. Now, our goal was to improve from 36 to 41, and that's not a good thing. And we were very upset we went backwards. So we have got a huge push right now, to get our English language art scores back up with the proficiency rate going from 32 to 37, hopefully higher than that. And then our goal, the third goal, of course, is to increase student attendance by 3%. And we're on that road to do so. Strategic plan, you can see our proficiency rates, college and career readiness. Our middle school students are instructed in Discover Your Future, which that curriculum is provided by the West Virginia Department of Ed. We also added Project Lead the Way for grades 6 through 8. It is a grant, and we will have that for 3 years. They are instructed in medical detectives, flight and space, and then technology. So we have those kids. Some of them get Discover Your Future and then Project Lead the Way. So that's our CTE component. Organizational excellence, okay, our LSIC, which we just had a meeting right before this meeting, our leadership team, student lighthouse team, staff lighthouse team, whole school PLC, PTO, and all the things that these people provide us. Ms. Bates and I take that into consideration to our scheduling for the year, just different things that will improve our school. So we take lots of data and put that together and do what's best for our kids here. Our celebrations, if you can see the signs behind me and over here to the right, and if you look at the very top, it says Lighthouse Academic Honor Roll. We have been a Lighthouse Academic Honor Roll school for the past 3 years, which is a huge accomplishment if you're a Leader in Me school. We were a Lighthouse school, which we did a presentation. I know Jeremy and some of you, Miss Butchie was there, Daniel and Robert weren't in there, but that's a huge accomplishment in itself to be a Lighthouse school. There's only 600 of those worldwide, not country, but in the world. We're up for renewal
This year,
this year. So we should find out hopefully by the end of the year if we achieve that again. So huge accomplishment for us. I've got our new national board certified teacher, Miss Patty Radgetay's not here, but Miss Tina had left us, so we're back up to 6 now. At one time we had 9, and three people have retired. So, and then like Tina went to the board, but Miss Radgetay stepped up, and then we have 3 others. That's a huge thing for me, to encourage our teachers to become national board certified teachers, because that shows you're the best of the best, and that's what we want for our kids. So we all, Tina, Amy, Christy, all of us that are national board certified teachers help others here try to achieve that goal. So, and we have some fabulous teachers. Okay. Again, then we have the 2 grants for CTE. Miss Davis has started our Bobcat broadcasting. She got a grant for that. And if you're part of our Facebook page for PTO, she's put some very good broadcasting out there with our kids doing that, leading the way. M3T, Miss Stephanie Workman is a M3T fellow, like Miss Wilson was. And then we have 31 Apple certified teachers. So that's a huge accomplishment too. Now the addendum at the back, we'll look at it just a second with our data. Our curricular focus, of course, is math. We've improved our math scores, done a great job with that. But then, of course, and I've said this before, one thing goes up, then that kind of affects the other and it goes down. So ELA went down. So we're back pushing the ELA to the forefront again. PLCs and leadership, our grade level PLCs meet monthly, but I meet every Tuesday if possible when I don't have scheduling conflicts with the elementary teachers, pushing, making sure that we're looking at iReady data and all the data from classroom assessments. And then we revamp our intervention groups so they don't stay stagnant. They're fluid. Okay. Leadership team meets. We try to meet once a month. Sometimes that doesn't happen, but everybody gets that input and guides us along. Okay. Culture and climate, you can read that. Additional assistant requested. Now the first things are things we'd asked for and we've received. Playground's been completed, which is great. HVAC, we're still working on that. We've had some bumps in the road with the HVAC. So sound system. Now we did get funds from an outside source, so we're working and we should get a new sound system in our gym before long. And then our window tinting, of course, we just talked about that. Pro Tent came and that has helped us tremendously for like safe schools and things like that. People can't see in. And we even had all the windows on the ground floor on this side so people can't see in and see our kids. What we've asked for in the past and still needs attention, the fascia on the gym entrance. And I know Jerry asked our wish list. That's our big wish list, is to get that repaired. And then fencing, just with our LSIC meeting, we have lots of traffic on that front lawn. And I don't know, I mean, if it's not doable or what, but I mean, this has gone on for several years. And I know it's public property and all that, but Mr. Davis can attest to this, and these ladies here, there's lots of needles found out there around the trash receptacle in that picnic area. People sit there, shoot up, then the needles are left out there. So it's a huge safety concern for us. The same with our playground. You know, we find things out there, kids shouldn't even be, you know, around. So the fencing's a big thing. And then I've added our marquee, of course, just went down back a couple months ago. So we are looking at this and it needs repaired, but I'm working on that. So hopefully we can get that repaired. And then our LSIC, our team members, blacktopping, parking's a huge issue for us. You know, once our parents come, there's nowhere for them to park to pick kids up in the evening. Mornings we drop off, so they just go through. But evening parking is huge for us, and that was something that was brought up again today. So those are the things that, you know, we have issues with. The next page, of course, our LSIC members, our business partners, and then student safety practices. We have our cameras, our SWAT system for our staff. We practice fire drills, active shooter, and then our stop and think drills as well. And as a staff, we have voted, we like the stop and think drills much better because it is something that could actually happen. And if, you know, somebody's not going to call and say, hey, there's a shooter out here, you know, get locked down or whatever. It's spur of the moment. It's probably when it's going to happen. So as a staff, we think those are more effective. We have our window clings at the front entrances so people can't see in, and then the window tinting, and then our intercom. Those are the safety things that we have in place. Now, the back two sheets, and I'm not going to go through all that. You can look at it. The first one is from last year, 23-24. Of course, kindergarten, first, second, they do not do the benchmarks, the BMs that you see for third through eighth. You have the iReady, then the benchmarks for West Virginia Summative Assessment. And you can go across and you can see we did make gains. Now, some of them we didn't make the gains that we wanted to. And I was really surprised when our English language arts, when Mr. Barnett, Mr. Davis and I talked about it. I truly thought we'd be at 40% based off of iReady and the benchmarks, but it didn't happen. So we'll have to look at that more closely, and we are working on that. And then the last sheet is this year's. And I will tell you the data for that second benchmark, it's not complete. It's just what I have now. We've had several students absent, but I went ahead and put something in. I know like kindergarten, they had like 3 out of each class that hadn't finished. And then first grade had 6 or 7 not finished. So several of them have not got that completed, but I'll update that throughout the year as we progress.
Well,
Okay.
we haven't gotten to have school enough to.
True,
the past couple
true.
of weeks.
Yep. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
kindergarten had
it's all
everybody
data.
but 6 on English language arts, but their math wasn't completed at all. I don't think Miss Brenna's even started it. So, but that's the information that, you know, I have to present. Does anybody have any questions? I know it's a lot.
No, sorry, my voice. Have you gotten a quote for the fencing? You know what that?
No, I have not, because no one's ever said to go ahead and do that. So, and I don't know how much we can fence off. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing.
I'll make myself a note to check with
Okay.
Jerry. We've been talking about it.
Out here out back, and I know Mr. Davis, when he did this, we talked about fencing this. It's a huge concern. And we just talked about this in our LSIC meeting before this one, because I I was running late with it. But out back here, anybody can pull around here. Our kids are targets going back and forth between the middle school and the elementary. So this back part's huge. Again, the front is bad because of the needles and things like that. But this, anybody could come around, grab a kid and we wouldn't even know it maybe. So,
Where do your deliveries come
right here.
from? Okay.
See, that's a big thing, you block that off and then before we added, the primary care center out here, that's a big thing because they park and we have people from other, communities coming in as well. So, because they utilize that quite a bit. So, and we're glad that we've got it. It's just you put more people in the mix here.
Well, I was just thinking logistics, how to.
Yeah. But Mr. Davis will vouch for that. When he was principal, that was a huge concern out here as well. So,
Ms. Upton, goal 3, increase student attendance by 3%.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, that's a problem all over. And I just like to hear what you plan to do as far as, we can take things that you're doing and things that's going on at Midway, things can kind of just get the different ideas because this is a big problem. And I'm just curious to what your guys,
what do we do?
Yeah,
We recognize those students that have improved attendance and give them like prizes and things during our morning meeting.
Mhm.
We start our day off in the gym.
Okay.
And we recognize student achievement plus things like attendance rate. Miss Sophie, our CIS worker.
Right.
She called those kids out that had improved their attendance, what percentage was it? But we'll do that again at the semester. So each 9 weeks, we recognize those kids and we've given them prizes and things like that. And we even call home to make sure, parents realize attendance is going up. You're doing the right thing, send your
Right.
kids.
Yeah.
So we make lots of phone calls and we have lots of home visits.
and having success with it?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
young kids at work coming, it's work.
Where'd you go?
Yeah, I would say Miss Katie and Miss Sophie's done lots of home visits this year and those kids are coming. So, yeah. Yeah.
Well, sure it is.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer in preparing for excellence, you receive excellence. So, looks like you've done a great job here leading this school, Lighthouse School, leader in me, national board certified teacher. You're aiming for excellence. And, I believe you continue to do that. You continue to, pursue these plans that you've laid out for your academics and getting students in school. It'll all come together. So good job.
Thank you,
And
Mr.
appreciate y'all.
It's all it's the great staff that we have. Mr. Davis can attest, it's one of the best staffs you'll find in the world. So, you guys,
No, but I'm so proud of every one of you.
Yeah.
I am.
Thank you
Great
very
job.
much.
Thank you. And that will take us to part B of presentations, Miss Dion Lucas and Sarah Dunlap with talking about interventions. Oh, okay, and a lot more.
And a few more
Surprise.
things.
Good evening, I'm Dion Lucas, Sarah Dunlap, and we're here tonight to tell you all about House Bill 3035 and the science of reading and our initiative here in Lincoln County. We just wanted to touch base with you all, give you a little update with the Lincoln County's initiative on the science of reading. In November of this year, you know that we have been doing the science of reading. This is the second full year of science of reading through the State Department. We actually were like looking ahead a few years before that. And knowing that the science of reading was coming down, we had already had a lot of the stuff already in place. So we're very fortunate that we had that because as we were going, as Sarah and I was going to trainings at the State Department, it was like affirmations, like we were checking the box on everything. We were already doing it. We were already doing it. Where some of our counties are still struggling to get it together, we have it together. So we're very fortunate there. So in November of this year, Jennifer Ashlock had actually visited our county in person, visited all the classrooms, K through 5. Sarah and I were with her. We got to walk through, which was very eye-opening for us because it was like our mentor was mentoring us, which was really great. So some of the next steps that we're going to be looking at as a county, as we move forward with the science of reading is as coaches, as Sarah and I are the only two coaches in the county, along with Jerry, who coaches math. We're going to be out visiting classrooms for implementations. And we're also going to be looking at teachers implementing science of reading with rigor. We have noticed, so as we were doing walkthroughs with Jennifer, that we have teachers in our county that's doing the program, but we need to dig a little deeper with our program. So we want to dig deep with rigor with some of the, with reading instruction, with our practice sets and with our priority plans. One of the other things that came out of Jennifer's visit was she's going to be doing Zoom sessions with our principals at our school and our vice principals that are there. 2-hour sessions. They're either going to be before or after a principals meeting. What the purpose of these meetings are is to strengthen principals' knowledge of the science of reading and Ashlock implementation. So it'll give principals, as they do their own walkthroughs in classrooms, it'll give them the look fors. What am I looking for? What if a teacher is doing something that isn't appropriate for that time, that principal knows, hey, I can help this teacher out, or they can call one of us to come in and help. So it'll just familiarize principals with not only our Ashlock program that we're implementing, but also the science of reading. One of our big steps this year, and Ms. Huffman talked about it earlier, was our intervention grouping. Our intervention grouping now is at full implementation countywide. And with our intervention grouping, all students, when they go to their intervention group, is on level. So you might see some kids that's in kindergarten going to a first grade classroom. Or if a kid is struggling in a third grade classroom, they might be going to another level that's on their developmental level for reading. So it makes everybody feel good about themselves. With our implementation of our intervention grouping, students go to a WIN group. What I need, they might do a phonics for reading group, working on their phonics, or they might do a SIPS program, which was do with comprehension for upper grades. Then those groups are shuffled about every 9 weeks, according to what level the student is on. And we do phonics surveys for those children to see how they're doing phonetically and if we need to move those kids around. Is there?
We recently have purchased Newsella for the comprehension groups, for our intervention groups. And that way they will have that those informational texts that they're going to need to help build their vocabulary and their comprehension in our comprehension groups. Also with Newsella, they have Wonders, and they have units that go with Wonders. So if you're teaching Unit 1 in Wonders, you can go to Newsella and pull articles that will go with the text that they're reading in their actual textbook. And for grades 6 through 8, they also provide informational text for Amplify. And another thing is that they also do quizzes on Newsella that mirror the summative assessment types of questions that they will see there. So we thought that was a good purchase to add to our comprehension groups for grades 3, 4, and 5. We also, this year was another big step, is that we implemented corrective reading and reading mastery for our special education students. Looking at the data, we felt there was a need there to help them build the skills that they did not know were lacking. And so special education teachers were trained this summer in those 2 programs, and they honestly have adopted that program in their classrooms, and it is flourishing. I cannot tell you how excited we were when we went into special education classrooms and we had students who were reading proficiently, and it was amazing. And we've seen wonderful gains. We've even had students who have now exited that corrective reading program, and they're ready to go into the regular ed classroom with a co-teacher. So it is wonderful program. We also have taken a moment, looked at our iReady scores coming in. I'm glad we have to look at those and talked about those. And what we see right now, we see some great gains. Everything's not finished yet. I do want to preface that, but for what we see coming in, we are excited about the gains that our students are making in this second iReady diagnostic. The window closes January 31st, so we're excited to go back after that and look at that data and dig into that and see what they've done. And we do feel that all these initiatives that have been put into place, and we feel that all the hard work that our regular ed teachers have done, our special ed teachers have done, and all the other people who are part of those intervention groups, because some of our intervention groups just aren't, our teachers and other people within our building involved in those. I feel like we are seeing that gain, and we're seeing our students who are just reaping the benefits from all the hard work that our teachers have put in. And we want to thank our teachers for all that they do for their students in our county.
And thank our county board,
Yeah.
Mr. Barnett, Mr. Davis, for your all support with helping us initiate this. Because if we don't have your support, you know, it doesn't take off, it doesn't fly, and we appreciate that so much.
Well, this is one of those situations where, you know, we just, in order for a county initiative to work, everybody has to be speaking the same language. So that was the initiative this year, to get everybody on board and speaking the same language. And looking at, you know, to watch when Ms. Shortridge would come in and say, you know, we saw 5 non-readers here that weren't reading at all, that are now reading and getting ready to actually exit this program. That speaks volumes when those kids are, you know, do that. And it's a work in progress. And yeah, again, I'll echo your sentiments there of all the hard work that the teachers have put in. They're the ones in the trenches, not me. I just said do it. They're the ones in the trenches doing it, and doing a good job of it. And I think that the rewards are going to speak for themselves as time progresses, and we see the achievement in these students and their success, and success builds on success. The more successful they are, the more they'll want to be. And you know, I'm hearing own grandson talk about, you know, competitions and things of that nature of being able to, you know, well, I did this, or I scored this level, or matter of fact, he came to me and said, do you think they'd get mad at me if I worked on my iReady at home? No, I don't think they get mad. You're good. But, you know, so it's just, it's exciting to see the benefits of this coming to fruition.
And it's very exciting with Sarah and I are in the schools, and teachers actually seek us out to say, hey, as it's already, they're finishing already, my student has made this percentage gain.
They're so proud of.
So teachers are excited because they're seeing the gains, they're looking at the data, they're seeing the gains. And it's nice to see them tear up a little bit and say, the student is just doing a wonderful thing.
I'm gonna say I can speak for my own house. I hear the conversations of my boys talking about, as I'm pretty sure Marshall just the other day said he increased 21 points, I believe it was. So, and Coy but anyways, they mentioned their increases. So they're not only, they appreciate it too.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse to not understand something, and for them to be able to understand and then be able to reflect that into it, it's very rewarding for them as well. So it's great. Good job. Yeah.
Thank you, ladies. I
Thank you
appreciate
all.
it.
Yes,
Any
thank
questions
you.
for me?
Thank you very much.
We'll move on to agenda item 5, approved minutes of the January 10th meeting. Cartwright motion,
I'll second it.
Richie seconds, all in favor,
Aye.
opposed, passes 5-0. Oh, yeah, sorry, 4-0.
Mhm.
You're right, Mr. Bell's not here present with us, so 4-0. Moving on to item number 6, administrative. Is there any discussion?
Make a motion, we accept.
Mosteller makes a motion to approve.
Second.
Cartwright seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 4-0. Moving on to the finance. Looks like you've got 2 items there. Any discussion? Motion to approve finance. Cartwright makes a motion to approve.
Second.
Mosteller seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
4-0. Approved. Move on to the personnel section. That's the blue sheet. We got a revised copy there. Looks like through items F. If there's any discussion?
Make a motion to approve.
Mosteller makes a motion to approve.
Second.
Cartwright seconds. All in favor? Aye. Approves 4-0. Brings us to section 9, comments and concerns.
Just a little update on Duval project. Of course, you know, weather's not been our friend. But they're still working. they're still up there every day. So, as everyone knows, I had approached the school building authority about the, safe school entrance for Lincoln County High School and subsequently, did not make a cut. After that, I've had several, security companies reach out to me. One in particular was a company that reached out to me the other day about, window film. And I showed the board members this. This is what the window film is. It is a not bulletproof, bullet resistant film. And it adheres to the window frames. And I watched a video on this and I believe the weapon was a 223, which is a semi-automatic rifle. And there were 90 rounds put into this and it took 9 minutes to breach a hole about this big in it. So 9 minutes is a lot of time when you're talking about something like this. So they came out today, measured the high school. They're coming out to finish tomorrow, and they'll give us a quote on this for the high school. Once I get this quote, I'm applying for a $50,000 safe school grant to try to help with this project. And then once we get a quote, then I'll have all the specs, and I can actually take a look at the other schools of our glass entrances to see what it would cost to do this. Now, it doesn't have to be tinted; it can be clear. So I was real excited this fella came out and was going to do this for us. And hopefully we can get some good information back and be able to make this happen. So I think that the more proactive we can be, the better off we'll be.
Are there any other schools in our area that have used that?
A lot of
before?
churches have used it. I don't know if any schools right around here have, but there've been a lot of churches that have used it.
Maybe you could ask them if there's any schools that maybe you and some of the maintenance or some of the directors and
I'll do so. He'll be back out tomorrow.
good, and you all can go and see how those schools feel about that.
Okay. All right. That was all I had.
What, do we have anything, update on progress as far as Duval, or are we still pretty well?
I think we're still, we're probably gonna be a couple of weeks off now before footers can be done, just simply because of weather.
Weather.
Of course, I say that, and then by the same time, when I get pictures that they send weekly, I see, things being done that I wouldn't think would have been possible because of the ground.
Right.
But it's being done anyway. So we may be exactly on schedule. There's a meeting tomorrow. Mr. Cummings will have a meeting tomorrow with we have them every other Wednesday.
The picture, it looks like there's two contradictions that are using the structural mesh, which you see at the top of the mountain, and then down closer, it's protected. It looks like they started putting the protective mesh in, which is not as visible to the eye when you drive by it as the structural mesh.
And what I see all along the base of the mountain is what it looks like is it's a French drain on a grand scale, if you will. And that whole one section there is going to kind of serve as I'm trying to think of this in layman's terms, as like a giant leach bed, if you would imagine a leach bed for a septic system. So any runoff will actually leach out through that piping and under the road, through the piping. So.
I have just to say thank you all for your hospitality, and we appreciate it. Whoever made the dumplings, that's very good job. Thank you.
Surely.
We're looking at getting her a raise, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, if there's no other comments or concerns, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn until next Tuesday, January 28th at 6 p.m. at Lincoln County High School.
Well, I make that motion, but before I make it, I
Oh.
want to thank all the staff who
Okay.
helped work, and I certainly want to thank the principals, the teachers, and everybody else who came, because it's been just a lovely time during an awful weather spell.
So Butchie makes a motion, Cartwright seconds. Time is 6:48. All in favor?
Aye.
4-0.
It was lovely tonight, wasn't
Beautiful,
it?
beautiful.
It was.